Hi, my name is Ryan Komakai, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about STEM education and basically the benefits I believe it brings to the table when discussing the innovations of our world as well as the success of our nation. So, some facts that I have for y'all: China's energy consumption grew by 134% over the last decade and is continuing to grow with each year passing. Over 870 million people worldwide are going hungry every day, paired with 780 not having access to clean water. Let those two numbers sink in. It's a lot of people. We've had the warmest decade on record, and I'm going to discuss what we are doing about those problems and some solutions that I have. So, you might be asking, what is STEM? STEM programs are not new to the education system. However, they're not being implemented at the magnitude that they need to be. STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the United States has fallen behind in almost all of those categories from an educational standpoint. The concept of STEM is not limited to these subjects. However, they do instill a new way of thinking and they challenge your creativity while developing your problem solving skills, lateral thinking as well. While I do believe in the diversity of education and professions, the state that our world is in today, I believe it's calling for a more uniform focus on solutions and proactiveness. So, some of the occupational needs, to run through some numbers with y'all. Workers in STEM related fields are in extremely high demand right now in the US, and we are not meeting the number of workers that are needed. In fact, we are considered a STEM deficient nation. The numbers for ACT tested high schoolers interested in STEM show that this type of degree is not being pushed by many school systems. In 2012, 48% of ACT tested high school students expressed an interest in STEM, and 6 years later, 2018, 48% of students expressed interest. That shows that it's not being pushed. With millions of STEM related jobs already being left unfilled every year, how are we supposed to occupy those positions in the years to come when the number of students wanting to go into STEM is unchanged? The number of STEM occupants in the United States will grow by 8.9% by the year 2024. That's in about 3 or 4 years from now. So I'm going to talk to y'all about some of the policies that are in place right now. As of recent, policymakers in the government do recognize the importance of education, educating these students in these subjects. In 2017, President Trump signed a memorandum to implement a high quality STEM program in schools, primarily for young people. This memorandum is mainly focused on computer science programs. The implementation of this program has yet to see any major statistical results due to the recency of its effectiveness. This is a good step in the right direction, I believe, but how does this change our students' interest levels in these subjects? An earlier effectiveness of the program and students is a major component to the success of this nation. Children's minds are easily molded, and as I recall back to my days of adolescence, there was not many, if any at all, programs in place to influence children in these areas. I did grow up in an economically poor area of the United States, but to the best of my knowledge, I don't remember any systems or any programs that were in place to improve STEM um, subjects. Somebody that I think has a great quote on this subject is Governor Jay Inslee, the state of Washington. He says that STEM-based industries such as computer science, aerospace, agricultural, clean energy, life sciences, and advanced manufacturing are the backbone of state's innovation economy. But we can't take these energy industries for granted. We need to make sure that our education system is keeping students ahead of the curve and providing employers access to a world-class workforce. So PISA is an acronym, and it stands for Program for International Student Assessment, and it's a benchmark that measures how students in different countries fare in comparison to one another. There's a significant difference between the 15-year-olds in the United States and other countries. Leading countries in math and science include Japan, Finland, Estonia, Republic of Korea, Germany, and Switzerland. In both subjects, the United States is below the OECD, stands for Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. It's below the OECD average. So basically, the world average we're below. This is direct representation of the dire need for better education in these fields. 100K and 10 I think, is a very good program. I really like what they're doing for STEM subjects. They recognize the future health of the United States economy depends largely on our education system's ability to prepare their students for STEM-related jobs. This project focuses on increasing and strengthening our STEM educators. While funding clean energy companies is important, I believe that the programs that supply such companies with lateral thinkers and problem solvers is equally, if not more important in today's day and age. So the big problem, there's a lingering problem with this solution, and that's that science and technology is very expensive to implement in school programs. The tools needed to properly teach these subjects to all ages is extensive because it's ever-changing. Robotics is one of the expenses that is a major contributor to our rapid advancements, I believe. To support the cost of these programs, to attend the best schools is driven up and it's catered to the wealthy. Underserved students are at a major disadvantage when it comes to STEM education. ACT defines, if you don't know what underserved means, ACT defines it as characteristics that are related to lack of high quality education. This primarily is caused by being a minority, having low income, and being a first generation college student. The necessity of comparing, I think, it's something that can't go unseen. If you look at many of the countries where education levels is free and at the highest quality, primarily Finland, Sweden, Norway, Germany, these countries also boast some of the highest scores on benchmarks across the globe, as I had previously mentioned. Ubi Tech Robotics is a good company that I believe that gives products to the public. They are a robotics company that specializes in robotics and AI, and they basically just help with home improvement as well as workplace improvement by manufacturing these robots. They also have, what relates to this subject is they have Ubi Tech Education, which has products such as UKits and Jimmy Robot, which encourage problem-solving skills and incorporate coding and engineering in their products. They're used from kindergartners to high schoolers. They prove to be very effective. They're very fun. They're not implemented in the United States, and there's a lot of products like it on the market, but I just think that they need to be implemented more in the schooling system here. Why do I care? I wasn't immersed in the world of technology and innovation as a young kid. The education that I received was not the same as people I attended college with due to a social class, and it truly put me at a disadvantage, I believe. It wasn't until recent years that I discovered that I did have very much a passion for technology, and I took to it when I saw the impact on world problems. I am self-taught, but I have developed some scripts of my own, some coding programs, and I believe it gives me some credibility to talk on this subject. I believe that this should be relevant to everybody if you care about the world that you live in. We only get one world. And I think that this needs to be brought to attention federally. It already has, but it needs to be implemented in a higher scale. And here are some resources for you. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.